Good morning, everyone, and welcome.
Hey, what day is it today?
It's Wednesday, man.
Cool. I didn't think that when I was.
Oz forgot today was the stream. He actually forgot it was Wednesday this
We
morning.
had an argument earlier. You're like, man, I got the stream today, and I'm like, it's Tuesday. What stream you got? And he's like, Tuesday. It's not Tuesday.
No.
And I was like, but it is Tuesday.
No.
It's not Tuesday.
This has been going on for 30 minutes.
Yep. So, welcome,
Hey, everybody.
Welcome to the Dev Chat, everyone. I'm Will Hungerford, lead developer at Privateer Press. With me is Oz Schoonover, development manager.
The sleep manager?
I am. I'm asleep.
Oz Schoonover, asleep, and Jeff Olson, our playtest
Hmm.
coordinator. And running the show, as always, is the best of us, Tony Konachek, video producer. If you've never checked this out before, this is the Dev Chat. It's where we, the development team, talk to you about what's going on with the games, usually CID talk. We talk for typically about 35 minutes, but sometimes we go to 50 to 75. You never know.
Today we're going to talk for like 8. We're almost done. We're almost done, literally.
We're live on Twitch right now, twitch.tv/privateer press. If you want to talk to us, come hang out, ask us questions. We will respond as we can.
There's a big TV right there. Did you see it? It's legible today. It's legible today.
What is in
just
the
saying.
world is happening?
So usually when Hungerford says you can talk to us on chat, one of us says that's why we look over there all the time and like stare dumbfounded with our mouths open and be like reading faces, and then we'd ignore those chats.
For all of you out there in the weather right now, there's really extreme weather
it's
conditions. So
serious.
if you're watching us somewhere where it's really cold, I hope you're staying safe. I've seen all my friends on Facebook talk, especially out in the Midwest, talking about how bad it is right now.
Yeah.
I know ATC just happened, and I was getting reports from ATC of it being like negative numbers that don't even make sense. So hope everyone is safe and warm while you're watching the stream. And while we're talking to all of you, thanks for joining us. And thank you if you backed the Kickstarter. The Kickstarter has officially funded. So that was really exciting. I think we actually hit a couple of the stretch goals as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Some of
They
the,
went-
some of the
what-
sketchbook stretch
What's the
goals.
actual final tally?
I don't know.
Whoops.
Tony's bringing it up.
Final tally is $86,985.
I believe that
Yeah.
Almost
85
87,000.
85 was one of the extra pages stretch goals, so we did
Yeah.
get a little bit bigger book than the original planned book.
Yep. So thanks everybody for backing, and I wish we could teleport it into your homes now. For those of you in the cold weather, so you could curl it by the fire book and just look at some good art.
Firebook.
The fire book, the fireplace. Don't curl up next to the fire book.
burn your
Is
book.
there some 1984
It's brand
stuff
new.
going on here?
Let's talk about a couple things before we get into today's topics, and we'll go through them pretty quick. First off, mini crate. The current mini crate is Harlequin Versh. He's available till February 19th. Also, the L5R model Hida is available till the 5th. You got a few days left for that. Mini Crate is our miniature subscription service. So you can go to mini-crate.com to check those out, sign up. Don't forget, if you do a 6-month subscription, you also get a free VIP model with your next shipment. Also, LVO is coming up February 8th through 10th. So to remind everybody to check that show out. We're going to be there. We're going to be vending. I'm sure there'll be some pre-releases to sell. So
There will be a couple.
watch your War Room updates around LVO. I'll be there playing games. I think Jordan's going to be there
Jordan will be
painting.
there.
Yeah, we're taking, I think, 4 people to LVO this year.
Yeah. So if you're in the area, come hang out. And for all of you narrative players out there, Winter Rampage, today is the last day to send in your reports. So if you played in a Winter Rampage game and you want to report, everything you need on how to report is in the rules book. Email your reports in and affect the fatal lail.
Also, we recently launched a terrain account on Instagram.
We
where
did.
Danny's building a great big crazy Infernals table for Lock and Load this year and stuff. It'll be probably at Gen Con and stuff too. And he's going through the process, and you can find that on Instagram. Tony, you didn't say what the account name was on that cheat sheet up there.
Yeah, he's
Tony's
putting it in the
Tony's
chat.
going to link.
So Tony's going to link it in the chat.
Yep.
But yeah, Danny's been showing some cool behind-the-scenes stuff, not just about that table, but he's focusing on that table a lot. It's got a big, crazy tower on it, and some other stuff's going on. It's going to be really cool. So you'll be able to watch what Danny's working on as he works on it up until you get to see it finished and real.
So real fast, just looking at chat, Travis has got negative 34 degree wind chill in Wisconsin. Jeff 19 bunch of numbers says negative 10. DGC is 24 degrees. Oh.
We're
Chaton 11 in central Nebraska with a negative 3 wind chill.
Nebraska.
I hope what did I say?
That's where I'm from.
Nebraska.
Oh, Nebraska. I hope everybody is staying safe and warm. Like, I don't know what to do with that
We're
kind
spoiled
of
here
Yeah.
with the,
I'm still wearing
ocean
shorts, but that's because I'm a fat
flows
guy.
well, we talked about that last week.
Yeah.
Oh, what? what's
When
happening?
snow occurs, I just shut down. Like I don't know what to
it's
do.
a good thing it only happens every like 2.5, 3 years around here.
Yeah.
Unless you walk out into the wilderness like
Yeah.
you did that one
And
time.
then the
on
whole
that
city
pond.
shuts down.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Because we only have one snowplow and we share it with Portland.
Snow hiking is different. Like snow camping, because you know what you're doing,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. But like driving to work in the snow.
Yeah.
Something that doesn't happen in Louisiana.
So we're going to get started today. We've got 3 different things we want to talk about today because we're in between CIDs, and we're going to talk a little bit about Monster Apocalypse. We're going to show you a cool spoiler coming out for Riot Quest, and then we'll talk a little bit about the Talion CID that's starting next week as well. So make sure you hang out for the whole time, especially if you want to see your first look at a brand new Riot Quest model that's coming up. And while you're here, please don't forget to follow and subscribe to the Twitch channel. Definitely helps us out a lot. Little button, press it, boop. We'd love you. If you are watching us on Facebook right now, like the the page. Also helps us out a lot.
Share it. All those things.
All the good stuff.
Like,
Real quick, too,
subscribe.
I actually saw a really good
Thanks.
question that I want to address in the Facebook chat. It was by a Pete who asked if there would be an opportunity to back the book if they missed the Kickstarter. I don't think we actually have an answer to that right now. We don't know. But I will certainly pass it on to the powers that be and see if an answer can go out to the community about that. I think it's a very good question, and we will see. I don't know.
Yeah. Hit us up on social media, and
Yeah.
you can probably get an answer from our marketing people that have those answers.
Yep.
Not us. We make the games. We don't make the answers.
Correct.
Is that how it works? It's Tuesday, right? Okay. So, wow, Tony, what are you doing to my screens?
I think
I'm so
Tony is
confused.
attempting to address
Okay.
some.
Yeah. So, the first thing we're going to talk about today, because it is a down week in CID.
Yep.
We're starting another CID soon, but this week,
Next
no CIDs.
week for CID.
Talking about that later.
Yeah, I was just trying to figure out where it's coming in the schedule.
It's a super secret. It's not a secret. We talked about it last week.
Yeah.
So the first thing we're going to talk about a little bit is upcoming Monpoc stuff. If you haven't seen the insider about all of 2019 and you don't know hardly anything about what's going on this year, the first thing that's going to happen is we're going to get through the first of the 6 faction models that are releasing in January, February, and March, which is like Demos and Sky Sentinel in January and stuff like that. So that stuff's coming out. Then a couple of special models that are kind of standalone right now, Kraken Octus and Hammerclack, which are Tritons and Subterran Uprising. Tritons are good guys now because they want to protect the planet. And Subterran Uprising are crazy mole people that some reasons want to destroy the planet. Doug and I haven't talked about their motivations on it.
We just know that they're bad guys.
They live on the planet, but
That's where they keep all their
want
stuff.
to destroy everything.
Maybe it's one of those for the surface world.
Yeah, I kind of imagine maybe they've already built like some sort of weird fortress inside, and when they blow the outside off, they just got like this
Nougat of
this
Earth.
metal sphere that flies through space and maybe does other things.
Sure. So you're saying the mole people want to leave the planet?
Well, maybe they just want to maybe they just want to shrink the planet. Maybe they just don't like all the surface. I don't know. Doug and I are going to talk about it.
Too many
figure out the
blankets.
renovations.
Yep.
But what you might have seen in the Kickstarter is a teaser for the next full faction that's coming out, because there is going to be a Monster Apocalypse. Well, there in the stretch goals there was some sketchbooks and stuff, and one of the things we teased during that was King Kondo.
Yep.
Which a lot of people have seen versions of King Kondo because he was in the original game, the pre-painted plastic game from 10 years ago.
Yep.
But some of you that are new to Monster Apocalypse haven't seen that. So King Kondo is our great big giant ape monster.
I mean, we think giant monster movies,
Yes.
traditional kaiju, right? Like giant
Yeah.
monkeys are a thing.
So there is a faction that is entirely giant apes of different sizes.
Yep.
Some really, really, really giant apes. And
humongous.
some like bigger than a house giant apes, the little guys. And that stuff is all coming in the spring. So King Kondo's the first of their monsters. They're going to get white Dijon, I think at some point.
Yeah.
Dijon.
not white
White
Dijon.
Dijon is
Wait,
coming.
white
Please
Dijon
don't call it
actually-
white Dijon.
He's like a big Yeti ape with an icicle bat, at least in the original version. I'm not sure exactly what we're doing with him in this version now. And then they're going to get a bunch of units, and they're going to get that jungle fortress that we showed off on that live stream back in, I believe, January.
That one's sick.
All that stuff's coming. And then, I'm not going to show you a teaser for it yet, but just like that insider mentioned, Recor International is coming out later this year, and that is all the robot versions
I'm so ready.
of the monsters. So, when you ask if it's a protector or destroyer, generally, things that want to save the planet, things that live here and are reasonable,
Yeah.
they want to save the planet. So the apes,
So mole people are only half of that
mole
equation.
people live here, but they're not reasonable. And the other bad guy faction coming out soon is the same way. So apes are on the good guy side. They want to protect the planet. They're kind of like the pterosaurs. They don't worry about knocking over a building here and there. They're mostly just trying to keep the planet intact so they can.
They don't want to get like blown up by planet eaters or
they don't want
everyone
to get
stripped
eaten
from the
or
Martians.
stripped from resources or whatever Cthulhu wants because nobody's exactly sure.
What about Ubercore?
Ubercore is bad guys. Ubercore are like horrible industrialists who want to get the most profit out of what's going on.
Yeah.
So they're that like they live here, but they're slightly irrational. So they're kind of just jumping in to make money off of everything.
Sure.
And their monsters are giant robot versions of existing monsters.
I'm so in on Ubercore. Like,
so the other
Meccano
thing,
versions.
the other thing that Ubercore will let you do since they're a destroyer faction is they'll let you play double Gorgadra, because one of their first monsters is Gorgadratron, giant robot Gorgadra.
it's not Mecha Gorgadra. It's Gorgadratron.
Gorgadratron.
Okay.
Important distinction. It's a very important distinction.
Well, Cybercon is a giant robot version of
dope.
Terracon.
But-
And then the third monster is something no one's ever seen before.
Oh, like it wasn't in the previous version?
It was something planned for Ubercore in the first edition of the game, but we never got there. And when I was digging around in the concept arts and stuff, I found it and I was like, ooh, let's use this. And Matt was like, cool. So we'll tease that later.
So
in the future.
The next big thing, well, we talked about the stuff that's coming out immediately, but the next big release is going to be the apes, right?
The next big faction release is going to be Apes.
Yeah.
In a little bit. They're not going to be like pre-released at LVO or anything. Don't get excited that you can buy it.
But you said spring,
In a couple weeks.
so
But they're
soonish.
spring, and then later in the year, summer-ish, in the fall will be Ubercore, and then there'll be more stuff that comes out.
So real briefly, since this is the developer chat, can you give a basic, like, quick rundown of how the apes play? Like, what is their strength and what do they kind of do?
So we're finalizing a bunch of their playtest stuff.
Yeah.
But one thing about the apes thematically is that they use leftover human technology. So they have an ape that carries around a big cannon. It's an artillery piece.
Mm-hmm.
They also have apes that have like jetpacks and carry bombs and that kind of stuff. And they've got a spy ape, whatever his name is.
The
days.
infiltration ape?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's
The ape-tration? Ape-tration?
No, just infiltration ape.
yeah.
Stealth ape.
Ape-triltration?
And he goes out and spots, and he's got cloak and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And so they're kind of a mixed bag faction. They can kind of do a little bit of everything. They have some shooting, they have some melee, they have some support, they have a bunch of stuff like that.
They're kind of combined arms.
They
right?
are kind of combined arms.
They're not-
Whereas like Guard is almost 100% shooting in their units, especially.
Or like Martians are not particularly
And
strong at brawling.
Martians don't brawl, and they all mostly fly and that kind of stuff. The apes have high mobility because they're apes; they can climb around, and they're kind of a like we have tools for everything kind of thing.
Eric Gonzo has a question. I'm not going to read exactly, but he wants to know if any of the apes will be flinging anything as their ranged attacks.
So there aren't flinging apes, and I haven't seen all the concept art lately. I don't believe any apes are throwing anything.
Got it.
I think they're all shooting weapons that they have looted from humanity.
Yeah.
So no.
And is it too early to say anything about Ubercore's style?
So Ubercore style is still being determined because what's happening in this edition of the game is we're taking ideas from the first edition, but then we are rearranging everything to make it work. So a lot of people have asked questions like, can I play my old models with my new models? Well, no, primarily because stats are different. We jump some stats up and push some stats around. But also, your old models won't have rules that interact the same way as your new models do. So Ubercore is something that's in playtest right now and is a little too early to talk about. But they do kind of take what other factions do and reimagine it because they are using robot Carnodons and robot Brontoxins.
Are they called Carnotrons?
I believe they're called Carnotrons. Yeah.
Yes.
And the Robo Brontox and that kind of stuff. So they have things that are kind of like, they don't do exactly what the Brontox does, but they kind of have the same role in the army as the Brontox
You
does.
made my day. There's a Carnotron party
Yeah.
that I can have now.
So the last thing we're going to tease and preview to you guys is something that people have been asking for. So Sky Sentinel and Demos already out. They came out in January.
Yeah.
Rogzor and who is it? Rogzor and
Armadax?
no, Armadax is the next month.
Am I Yasha?
Yasha is also the next month.
Zoraidens?
It's Raiden.
Okay.
So
Fair.
Rogzor Rogzor and Raiden they have names that almost sound the same.
Yeah.
Are coming out in February, and then Yashath and Armadax are coming out in March. Yeah. So we're showing people Yasha's card for the very first time.
Oh, right now?
Today.
On the
I don't
stream?
know. Tony slid the camera over, so I can't tell, but I trust him that the thumbs up means that the alpha or the hyper version of Yashath is on the screen right now.
Oh, I can see there we go.
And we got the very edge of it. I can see the faction symbol and stuff like that. So you'll see that Yashath isn't like Cthulhu. Cthulhu is very supportive.
Yep.
Yes.
His tricks, he's like, I summon a guy, I eat a guy, I move a guy, I fling a guy when I'm hyper mode. Yashath is more of a straight up fighter.
Yeah, he's a brawler, right?
But he also is tricky. One of the things about Yasha, and you'll see when Tony flips it over to Hyper, if he hasn't already, because we're delayed and I can't tell, is he doesn't have a gun ever.
Right.
He just punches people and slaps them around. But in alpha mode, he steals health when he punches you.
Which healing in this game,
Which
is
important.
It's pretty strong. There's not a ton of it in the game,
Yeah.
and when it happens, like there's definitely strategies you can build around just healing yourself
So
constantly.
that keeps those same concepts of Cthulhu can play around with health.
Yeah.
Now he can't heal when he's in hyper mode because that would be a little broken and it would flip your card back and forth and be weird. You could still eat a downtown high rise and heal back, but he doesn't have any inherent healing. In his
Right. Now, did you have a Yashath on your desk right now?
Yep,
he does.
And
I
you've
do.
been putting it together and painting it?
I've got it put together. I haven't started painting anything.
Do you know what scheme you're going with yet?
No, I have literally no idea.
Yeah, just no clue.
No, the Yashath is built, and I just got the Brew Grosh the other day, and I'm building that, so I'll have both of those guys.
I'm painting my stuff in pretty much the studio scheme, but like with a little twist because I think it's really fun and easy to paint those greens and purples.
I'm currently deciding whether I want to do something kind of similar, like relatively muted pastel tones of like a green and a purple tentacles kind of thing, or if I want to go with something crazy like yellows and pinks or weird off colors that you typically don't see. I'm in the exploration phase of trying to decide the palette.
And the other cool thing about Yashath is he goes from being a vampire, from draining your health to draining your power dice, and letting his army, his units
Drain
also
your power dice.
So he has like I can stick around a little longer maybe. I'm mobile. I punch you, and then turns into if he's knocked out your power plants and everything. If you don't have a good power structure built, then those few power dice you're getting, you might not be able to keep, and he's stealing them from you.
So for people that might be getting into Monster Apocalypse, who do you personally like to pair Yashath with as your second monster? I mean, obviously Cthulhu Rush is if you're doing pure Cthulhu, but
if you're doing monofaction, and like I've said before, monofaction is not the way the new game is designed. You can still play it that way, but you're leaving tools out of your army if you're playing like only Martians or only whatever, because a lot of factions like don't have brawlers or only have flying things that have lower defense and that kind of stuff. Yashath is one of those kind of middle of the road guys. He's not supporty, but he's not just a pure beat stick like Gorgadra or something would be.
Right.
So I think that he's fun to use with someone like Cthulhu or the Ares Mothership that's really supporty. But he's also fun to use as that second line beater. That like Gorgadra goes in, does as much wrecking as he can, and then dies usually.
Yeah.
And hopefully he's taken out another monster before he dies.
And Yashath is the cleaner.
Yashath can go in there and clean up, and he can also kind of stretch out a little bit by like if your enemy's got a monster with 1 health and Yashath has been hurt, you just walk up and punch him, and that guy dies and you get health back. And so you can play around with that kind of stuff. So I think he's that middle of the road. He has tricks. And he's not just all offense, but he's not as supporty as some of the other monsters.
Tony, did we lose Twitch chat? Twitch chat's down? Okay. So
Twitch
is
is
Twitch
having problems.
streaming right now, or did Twitch go all the way off? So it looks like Twitch is down.
So we're still on Facebook.
Yeah, so if you're catching us on Twitch right now, we actually can't see your questions, so definitely come over to the Facebook stream right now and watch us over there. We'll be able to answer any questions showing up on Facebook. So
I see a lot of people, by the way, this comes up frequently, I'm going to interject, asking about my corgi. Yes, I'm a very proud corgi dad, but he's not going to show up on stream. He is a bark monster and a fur monster.
Yeah.
It would be awful. And he would immediately wiggle out of my lap and then go and bark at something.
Maybe not.
No,
Maybe he'd be super chill.
No, he's a huge jerk.
So that's all the Monster Apocalypse we're going to talk about this week. Maybe in a couple of weeks we'll talk about some more stuff in a down week. Or something
real
like
I
fast,
want to get some games in.
it looked like Twitch is up, but we just can't see the chat at all. So sorry again. If anybody's like texting us in Twitch right now, we can't see your questions.
Yeah, right now we're having a little bit of trouble every time we go out to Twitch. It starts up and then it cuts out.
Okay.
So yeah, so if you're watching us on Twitch right now while the stream is up, please go over to Facebook and check us out because it seems to be everything fine on that side.
Yep. So, shall we move on to the next topic? Talk a little bit about some Riot Quest.
Boop.
Riot Quest is coming up later this year. If you haven't heard what Riot Quest is, it's a brand new game we're going to be putting out. It is a hex grid arena skirmish game that is very chaotic. It can be played 1v1 or up to 4 players free for all. You get to customize your salvage team that is going amongst the ruins of post-apocalyptic Iron Kingdoms, looking for the best loot you can, gearing up your heroes, and fighting over an always changing sort of dynamic set of objectives that every game is totally different no matter how many times you play it, and see who can achieve victory the quickest. The cool thing is, because the setting is, like a separate timeline, it's a possible future of what could have happened in the Iron Kingdoms. Everything is wrecked. There's hardly anybody left. All there is like smoldering rubble and a handful of the strongest heroes.
It's totally Back to the Future too.
Yeah, it's totally Back to the Future
like
too.
3D Jaws.
The dark, the dark timeline with the casinos and Hill Valley's all wrecked. And
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff. It's like,
But it's
Still
dark.
got
what,
3D Jaws.
what would happen if it went as dark as possible?
Yeah.
Not like shoes that tie themselves and that kind of stuff.
And the point that Riot Quest takes place is like the day after tomorrow. It's
Yeah,
like everything
yeah.
has just gone completely to hell. No one's left. And this is the people coming out of bunkers to kind of be like, what is left? And people are just salvaging whatever they can find, old broken mechanica and stuff just to survive. So there's all these new characters, and we get to see characters, like totally new characters that we've never seen before. And then characters we know from War Machine and Hordes and the Iron Kingdoms reimagined in new ways, like we've shown the new Butcher and stuff like that, where he's not wearing his Warcaster armor anymore, and he's looking a little rough.
He's also got like Fellblade Lola.
He's got a Fellblade Lola.
So it's, yeah.
Now, all these models have their own rules within Riot Quest, and Riot Quest, again, is a totally different game. It shares nothing in common with War Machine and Hordes. You play a game of Riot Quest in about 30 minutes, and it's a very quick game to learn. It has lots of like decisions and strategy to it, but you can teach someone to play Riot Quest in probably 5 minutes.
We have taught some people to play Riot Quest in one turn or so.
Yeah. But the cool thing is, every model that comes out for Riot Quest not only will it have its Riot Quest rules and all its special stuff to play in Riot Quest, but we're also going to release a War Machine and Hordes stat card with it online, so that these models will be fully playable, completely legal in any organized play, or obviously if you're playing narratively at home. So Butcher 4, even though he's from the Back to the Future timeline, you will be able to play alongside Sorcerer Zero or any of your other armies.
Yeah, and we've shown James's card, the Iron Maiden. That's the model you get. It's the very first Riot Quest model anybody's going to get because it's going to go to backers of the art book Kickstarter.
Yes. So what we want to do today is we want to show you another new model for Riot Quest. Tony, do you have it ready? So Gorman, as we know, is pretty bat poop crazy. But what happens when everything just goes straight to hell? He goes even more insane.
Well, yeah.
So this is Gorman the Mad. He's given up the alchemical vials and bombs, and he has a giant alchemical sludge cannon he's running around that he's just grabbing all kinds of gunk from the wreckage of the Iron Kingdoms and filling it in there, mixing it up, and hosing people down with it. So he's just searching around for whatever he can find that he might be able to shove in that backpack and then take out his enemies. In Riot Quest, he's a rogue class hero, and he's one of the only rogue class heroes that has the ability to strip off enemy gear upgrade cards from ranged. So when someone takes the time to open all the treasure chests and get enough loot to give themselves a cool piece of gear like hyperspring boots or
Don't take my boots.
Yeah, don't like. Gorman can walk up and just disintegrate the gear card you put on a hero.
I just paid for those boots.
Yeah, and so he is a excellent sort of utility harassment piece that you can strip away everyone's hard
He's
work.
also, being a rogue, all sneaky and kind of hard.
He's also a rogue
hard to
class
pin
hero.
down. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you'll be seeing obviously more of him as Riot Quest gets closer and closer. And in addition to him being a Riot Quest model, you'll also see Gorman 2 in War Machine and Hordes, where he's going to be a mercenary solo that has partisan Crucible Guard.
Yep. He's still the same character he is whatever. So he's
It's
still,
weird. It gets weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is like some Haley bleeding through the timelines kind of stuff. Like
Sure.
They're not technically by rules echoes or whatever, but that's kind of what's going on here.
Yep.
Like every once in a while you're like, wait a minute, where'd that guy come from? He's got some sort of weird stuff. Because the other thing about Riot Quest that I really like a little bit differently from the Iron Kingdoms is we're kind of pushing that sci-fi magic tech thing
Yeah.
to be like spring boots. Because the game's also a little wackier. It's like almost a little Saturday morning cartoon kind of thing.
It is.
But
I mean, it's
also
not silly, right? But
it's not super wacky, but it's a little bit lighter in tone than the Fallen Iron Kingdom.
It's
with its
simultaneously
seriousness.
lighter and darker.
Darker. But yeah, you can put spring boots on your character and have them bounce across the battlefield to get farther.
Yeah, it's definitely almost like dark humor with a lot of like ingenuity. Like if you took the technology of the Iron Kingdoms and fast forwarded it a bit and then wrecked everything, so everyone's sort of like Mad Max style scavenging, what would they be building? What would they have available?
And I like to think of it as like desperation is what really furthers invention. So when people find a piece of a thing that used to do a thing and a piece of a thing that used to do a thing, they're like, how do these two things go together? And suddenly they've got some crazy device.
And mechanica, engineering, and stuff like that has always been a major part of the Iron Kingdoms. Now, I saw someone ask me if every faction is going to be represented in Riot Quest, and the answer is yes.
Yeah, kind of, sure, yeah.
But when I say yes,
basically yes.
Kind of.
Kind of.
They will be in ways that you may not expect.
Yes.
Thematically,
Thematically.
there are things from all the factions.
Yeah. Thematically, there's something for all the factions.
Yeah.
But it's not necessarily going to be how you might expect those things to be.
No, not
For
at all.
example, in the Riot Quest timeline, did Everblight survive? Is the Legion still around? And if not, how would we make a Legion model? Now there is a Legion.
There is
The Legion base. There's a couple of Legion-based things coming up for Riot Quest, but we're not going to say how that all works out exactly.
Sure.
That'll be stuff for later on.
Yep.
Looks like Twitch finally came back up, so that's really awesome. Sorry for anybody's questions. We've been missing on Twitch the entire time. It looks like Twitch was having massive issues. Alex Barker says, are all the Riot Quest models going to be Mercs in War Machine? No. There are some that are...
Mostly, but not quite.
Yeah, some are faction only, but a lot of them, because they're so unique, there will be a lot of Mercs and Minions.
And like the nature of Riot Quest is like, hey, you got like your crew, you're going out. These are people who are looters for hire in a way. So thematically, they fit as mercs because they kind of fill that mold of what we're looking for as a merc character.
Yeah, but
Well, yeah.
some models will be flat out just belonging to a single faction. That's all there are. You know, there's a Grimkin related Riot Quest model that's in development right now that I could say there's no way that thing would be a merc or a minion.
Yeah.
It is very, very specifically Grimkin. So again, we'll have more stuff coming about Riot Quest. Right now, I just want to show you some of the cool character concepts. I know that everyone has now seen like Boomhowler 2, Butcher 4, Gorman 2, Eris 4.
Gubbin.
But you've seen a lot of existing characters, so we can kind of establish, like, where do the people where are they going? So that when we start showing you all the brand new characters, of which most of Riot Quest is brand new characters, you'll understand sort of the aesthetic of where it's coming from when you have the standard of the people we knew. Where are they at now? And then, okay, well, this insane thing over here makes a lot more sense now.
I also saw a question that popped up in Facebook chat asking about playtesters for Riot Quest. And it is very possible that might be an avenue we explore as we get closer to the launch down the road. And so it's very possible you will see some news from me on how we're going to possibly address private external teams or a CID-like process. There's no word on that. We don't have any set plans, but it is definitely something in some capacity we will be looking to in the future, and news for that will happen when it happens.
But it won't be something like a CID.
Yeah,
It won't be like some massive,
it might be that
gigantic thing.
it's all internal. It might be that we have some private external teams. A variety of things can happen. It'll as it comes.
Yep. So there's been a bunch of Riot Quest questions I want to hit real fast. One is the numbering convention. Will it be the next iteration, or will it be something like Eris RQ instead of Eris 4? We actually talked about that a lot, decided to go with the normal numbering iterations because that's how we talk, right? That's how we talk. That's how all of you talk when you play the game. You don't say I'm playing, people don't say that I'm playing the Butcher Unleashed. They say I'm playing Butcher 3, right? And I think introducing something is like, oh, is that Butcher RQ 1 versus Butcher 1 or Butcher RQ versus Butcher 2? Like, that's just a little confusing. Let's just keep it with the numbers. It's what everyone's used to, and it won't get too weird. I think someone else just asked if they'll all be mercs or minions. Again, no, some will be faction only. Someone said, are we worried about bloat because so many merc and minion models are being added? No, we're very careful in what they're doing, and a lot of the ones that are being, like I'm designing a bunch of the War Machine rules for them. We want to add cool new utility on the War Machine side, things that do things you may have not seen before, but we're being very careful to not just add straight up powerhouses that, I think every Riot Quest model in War Machine is going to be interesting when you play it, and we're being very careful in its application, But we're not going to give you something that's like Vet Leader Faction or anything that's going to be too powerful like that. Somebody asked about Riot Quest Cephalix models. Look,
They're asking about a lot of stuff.
I love Cephalix,
There's
and I'm not biased enough
Necrotex.
to put a Cephalix model into Riot Quest. Absolutely not.
Somebody said something.
You would
about
never
a tiny,
do that.
a
I would
tiny
never do
tank.
that.
Never.
Rubicon says thanks for the Cornucopia dynamic update. Yeah, those of you that haven't seen the dynamic
It
update,
did go
went up.
live yesterday. There was a little bit of a hang up this morning with some of the PDFs didn't get updated correctly or their links didn't go, but that should all be fixed now or soon. So you should be able to get the card versions and all that kind of stuff if you're not using War Room.
Yep. Kevin Rogers says that Mercs and Minions have a lot of solos already, and worried about a little bit of bloat on this Riot Quest. Not all Riot Quest models are in War Machine will be solos. So some of them will definitely be other types. And Captain Ron says, is Riot Quest going to be available at Lock and Load? A little early for us to say that. Definitely hoping if it's not out for sale that you can play it. But we'll have more information as that comes up. And then one that definitely is appropriate to dev chat, Matthew Bunting, one of the biggest Batman fans I know of, by the way, says, will the War Machine versions of Riot Quest go through CID? Typically, no. If the model makes sense to go into the CID we're doing. So say that, Butcher 4 is a Doom Reaver solo. So Orsus the Chained is a Riot Quest model with his own rules. And when he comes out in War Machine, his subtype is Khador Doom Reaver solo. So if we had him at a spot where we wanted to CID him when we were doing Wolves of Winter, we might have put Butcher 4 into the CID because it made sense at that point. But obviously, he was at his finalized, or ready to test state afterwards. So he didn't go into the CID. So think about it like that. If there's something that makes sense and that the Riot Quest version of the model is ready, so like there might be privateers and pirates in Riot Quest, but we may not have them at a point where they're ready to go in CID. So typically, you're not going to see it. Sometimes, though, if it's ready and everything, the stars align, yes. I think I hit everything.
I think so.
I talked a lot.
I mean, there's a lot more to talk about.
There's a lot more to talk about.
We're just trying to give it a taste, a tease.
But this is just, I mean, Riot Quest is a ways away, so we don't want to just be like, here's everything.
Yeah, here's the whole thing.
There's a little bit. And there's still some stuff that's being tweaked about, like, a few little things here and there.
Stephen Hoover is asking if Butcher 4 is not a Warcaster. I guess I basically just said that. No, he doesn't have his Warcaster armor on anymore. So
he's also a bit more insane than even the normal butchers have ever been.
I'm not saying he lost the gift of magic, but he doesn't have his Warcaster armor on, and wearing Warcaster armor is like, that's why people like Vlad and Amon and the Harbinger are such big deals as having their 4 Warcaster capabilities, is because they're doing all that without their armor on. Like Warcaster armor definitely augments and empowers that natural ability, and something has gone wrong with Butcher in the Riot Quest timeline, which is why he is not quite doing the same things he used to do, but he still also is murdering the world.
So Randy asks, will Riot Quest models work in Company of Iron? Company of Iron allows you to play with any solo or unit or light warjack or whatever. So any of the Riot Quest models that fit inside those categories are totally valid.
Yep.
So
when their War Machine cards will have the requisition cost on it and stuff in War Room.
like there are new casters that are going to be coming out,
There are a couple that are casters or other things like that.
and they wouldn't work in Company of Iron. So. All right, cool. Well, that's all the Riot Quest for now. I guess let's talk about the next pressing thing, the thing that's going to be coming up next week, which is going to be the Talion CID.
So next week we're launching the Talion CID. That'll be coming to you all Wednesday, the 6th of February.
Yep.
I like the
What's the date right now? Yeah.
It is the 6th because the 8th is that Friday because that's LVO.
Oh.
Yep.
Oh yeah, you're not going to be here. Will this be?
No, I'm not gonna be here.
The guns.
So we fly out to LVO on Thursday. I will be taking my off day since I'm working all weekend on Wednesday.
So it's gonna be just Oz and I on dev stream next week.
Sure.
You know what? Maybe I'll take off Monday or Tuesday and I'll come in for the dev stream. So I'll make my schedule. I'll come in for the dev stream.
So
Literally doing my work scheduling live on stream for you, Oz.
Yeah.
Hey, whatever.
So that'll be coming next week. As we just mentioned, also I want to touch on the fact that the Cornucopia dynamic update dropped yesterday.
Yep.
So make sure to update your war rooms. You can go and check out the dev notes on privateerpress.com on the Insider. But so Talion CID will be dropping next week. We're going to be having a couple new models we're going to be adding. And by the way, when I say couple, I don't literally mean 2. I mean like an amount.
Sure, yeah.
I don't want people to read into that too heavily.
Yeah,
so we're going to be
you
adding.
guys saw that one new model we teased last week.
Yeah, so we'll have some new models coming for pirates.
Yep.
On top of that, we will have a couple legacy changes as well, and including some changes to the theme force, the actual Italian Charter theme force. So there will be some legacy models included. There will be some changes to the theme force, and then we'll have a bunch of cool new
I think the theme
pirate
force
stuff coming.
when y'all see the new theme force, it's really intriguing. And one of the main things people are going to ask about is the casters. We reviewed them. I've said this publicly on Facebook. I think Shay and Bart are both good warcasters. And I think that when the theme force and these new models change around them, Shay and Bart don't really need more.
Yeah.
Fiona is getting reworked.
Yeah, so we are doing a rework of Fiona. So you will all be able to see and experience that next week and get your feedback in for that. We're definitely looking to make sure that she lands in a really great spot. Fiona is a character that I'm a big fan of. In general, I've just always liked her model, both of them, the original, and now she has the much nicer resculpt that came out a couple years ago. So I'm really excited to get some table time with her. Then on top of that, we're also going to let you know that the cool art we showed you last week, and that probably Tony might throw back up on the thing if he has it, that is also a new Privateer Warcaster for the Italian Charter.
Yep.
So
But her name is still a secret.
Her name is still a secret.
it's still a secret. We're not going to say anything beyond the fact that she is, in fact, a new Warcaster.
Yeah.
So-
Brandon Andrews says he will win lock and load with the new Fiona. Possibly. Sure. New Talion is really interesting, and I'm really excited to see people get their hands on it because I love the pirates, and they have definitely needed some love for a while now, and it's good to finally see them get that love.
Yeah.
And no one's asked about it that I've seen, but the Steelhead dynamic update is the next one. We're working on it right now. We're not going to promise dates, but it is in the processes, so it should be coming out soonish.
So a question that keeps being asked and is getting a lot of likes is the galleon going down in points? Will it be looked at? Yes. The galleon's going down in points.
It's 39 right now?
Yeah, it's 39 right now.
But it has some kind of crane-like thing.
The galleon's getting some cool stuff. But, don't worry, it's definitely going down in points.
And yes, Trevor, that art we showed is a full Warcaster, not a junior or journeyman kind of thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that'll be coming next week. We don't know exactly how long. It'll probably run for about the standard 2 weeks or so. And so a couple things I want to talk about with the CID process. So please, if you are not a member of the CID forums, go head on over to cid.privateerpress.com, create an account. What happens is every few days I go through the moderation and accept all the various accounts in there. So if you apply for the CID forums and you don't, the very 5 minutes later, do not have a confirmation email, don't worry. I usually do it about 2 or 3 times a week. Please don't put anything naughty in your name because we will deny things.
We only moderate them manually so that people don't put offensive names in there.
Yeah.
We don't judge people for any other reason and be like, no, that person can't come in because blah blah. No, it's just we scan the names. We're like,
y'all don't.
Nothing terrible.
Yep.
Good
to
to
go.
either. And then we click accept all unless there's a person with an unfortunate name.
Yeah.
So please just, if you don't need to be funny, just don't bother trying to put a bad name in there because we will turn it down and you have to go through the process again. So make sure you head over to the CID forums and you sign up and get your account in there if you're interested in participating in the Pirate CID. So that'll be coming. Anything else we want to talk about with regards to that?
No. I'd say just come check us out on the 6th. Keep an eye out. There's a lot going on.
And then come and see people at LVO the weekend after.
Yep. And there's been a couple questions. So before we're going to be ending the stream here in a little bit, but let's get a couple of the questions that came up. Somebody asked earlier, because we were talking about Riot Quest for so long, will the Riot Quest models be good?
No. Yes. Hopefully.
Yes.
They will have interesting new rules that give you fun options to play the game.
Every Riot Quest model that comes out is primarily meant to be fun and one of the main pieces of your Riot Quest team, right? Part of your crew, as that is its own standalone game. But when we made the decision to make War Machine and Hordes rules for them, it wasn't just like, oh, we'll slap some rules on them, make them just basic models and let people play with them. No, I've been doing a lot of design on many of them. They're meant to be something that you look at and go, oh, this is cool. I might use it in here and there. They're not going to be centerpiece, founding blocks of any of your armies. They're not like the brand new Choir of Minoth, but everything in the right list is something that you're going to be like, yeah, I think I would take that. Or I was building this kind of list anyway, and this really augments and enhances it. So yes, we're trying to make the Riot Quest models good in both games as much as we possibly can.
And we're done So we're not going to deep dive into the whole entire concept of good in War Machine. We've talked about that before, I believe, at length.
Yeah. See if there's any other questions that pop up. Somebody wants a bad Riot Quest model? No. Are Ayanna and
Maybe
Holt,
if it's like Michael Jackson bad.
some people have asked if Ayanna and Holt are going to be Partisan Retribution. No?
Because he's a filthy round ear or something.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons.
Rubicon Eagle has said, will there be deck monkeys?
Oh, I forgot. We were going to say, last week we made monkey jokes. This week we're going to make more monkey jokes. What monkey jokes are we going to make? I can't remember.
You're the master of the monkey joke, man.
Am I?
Yeah.
I was
Anyway.
not briefed on monkey jokes.
So there is a monkey in the pirate CID.
He has one of my favorite new rules I've ever seen.
Monkey bite? That's not a new
No,
rule.
not monkey bite. Are we going to talk about it?
No, let's not talk about it.
Oh, my boss said I couldn't talk about it.
We're
y'all.
still playtesting a few last minute things about those new models, and the monkey is one of the things we're sort of testing still. So
Yep.
Which will smells nicer?
What?
Well,
And don't answer that.
don't acknowledge the questions.
It's clearly
that
Oz.
are too weird.
Trotsky DM says, any chance of a new 2-player starter in the future? I wouldn't expect one this year. I think new starters, you're probably seeing the new Riot Quest starter that'll be coming up, but not a new War Machine starter. Somebody asked if we could name one spell on the brand new caster. Do you want to do that?
Wait. Do you want us to spoil a spell on the new?
On the new caster for
I'm trying
pirates.
to think if I remember any of them.
I know them.
I
do.
told you guys I was asleep.
I mean,
If you want, I don't care.
we've built it up too much. Why don't
Yeah,
you-
yeah.
Which one do you want to say?
Which one do you want to say?
MD?
Okay, that's what I was
What?
thinking.
Yeah, so she's got Manifest Destiny.
Okay.
So, Manifest Destiny.
God, I'm glad I picked up that. I was like, what kind of hint is he going to give me of what to say?
So Manifest Destiny, obviously, don't necessarily think that she's just strictly a Jack caster.
Yep.
Manifest Destiny is obviously an incredibly powerful battle group spell, but she does a lot of cool things.
Also, any word on Infernals? Yes,
Yeah,
Infernals are
they're-
happening.
They're cool.
Emmanuel Class
Good thing.
asks, what future CIDs are right around the corner? We don't like to announce the CIDs coming out after. I mean, there's obviously going to be
The
an
Infernal one is coming.
There'll be an Infernal one.
Yeah.
But we've learned that, like, we initially announced Pirates too early, and then it got pushed way back.
I announced
way
Pirates
back.
Way early.
So we've basically
Way early.
got a sort of soft policy that we just don't say what the next CID
We
is
basically
until
only do a CID in advance, essentially. When this CID ends, we will probably, around that period, announce what the next CID is.
So we're not being coy, Emmanuel. We just don't want to lie to you on accident. Alex Barker says, what if events were 50 points? You can run 50-point events now if you'd like to.
Yeah.
Like, events can be 50 points. They could be 0 points, whatever you're in the mood for.
Ooh, 100 points.
100 points. Unbound.
Yeah.
The game's playable at all kinds of different point ranges. Are there any new Pirate Jacks coming? Wait and see. We don't want to say everything just yet. How long for the
We
Pirate...
are leaving some things for next Wednesday to be a brand new reveal. We don't want to
Yeah.
just be like, here's everything. here's everything. So yeah.
Patrick Augustin has any talk about Steamroller 2019 scenarios? Not yet. Keith asks, are the Riot Quest models restricted to League play in War Machine? No, they're completely legal in everything. You'll be able to play them in local Steamrollers, Masters, Iron Gauntlet. Like the Riot Quest model, the War Machine rules for Riot Quest models are the same as anything else. When is Lock and Load
We
2019?
haven't announced the date, have we?
We have June 21st through the 23rd, I believe. Hit me up on Facebook or Twitter afterwards, and I'll
Yeah.
confirm.
That sounds right.
Yeah. So, any other questions you see you want to hit? All right. Thanks for hanging out.
Travis says 21st through 23rd.
I
And I
trust
trust
Travis.
Travis to know everything we need to know.
Yeah.
So, anyway, thanks for joining us, everybody. We will see you tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
So, on Get Your Paint On with Jordan
We
Lamb.
won't see you tomorrow.
Yeah, I won't be there.
I'll
I'm
be
not
there.
going to be there.
I'm going to be there.
I won't.
At least I've been told I'm going to be there.
10 a.m. Pacific again on Twitch, and hopefully we don't have any technical issues on Twitch. Again, we apologize for the stream kind of going in and out today,
Yeah.
but it'll be on Facebook and Twitch again. So come join us tomorrow, 10 a.m. Pacific.
I'm gonna decide right now that tomorrow's gonna be Friday.
Yeah.
Today is Tuesday.
Why
Tomorrow's
not
Friday.
make it Saturday?
No, because I got stuff to do before the end of the week.
No, fine.
I wish today was Thursday because then it would be the patch for that game, that video game I want to play.
DBZ?
No one cares about that.
I do.
I mean, he clearly does.
Yeah, Jordan does. We're gonna talk about it all day tomorrow on stream.
Are we slowly fading out, Tony?
No,
That was
Tony's
happening right
not
now.
fading us out. Tony's just leaving us up to talk the whole
For
time.
just another half an hour of this.
Are we going to Jimmy Jams?
Yeah, I mean, if somebody's driving.
Sure.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
See you next week for the launch of the Pirate CID.
And tomorrow for other
monkeys.
cool stream. Be there.